Hello, and welcome back to another episode of the What Fills Your Cup podcast. I am your host, Riley Alexander, and let's do a quick check in. Last week was crazy. I'm trying to work on this whole work-life balance thing because right now I don't have one. I don't have any balance, and that's okay. But it is something that I'm really trying to focus on and work on because I don't want to burn myself out. Burnout is something that I have experienced a lot in the past when it comes to whatever endeavor that I'm trying to pursue. I feel like I go 2 feet, jump full in, and then I'm left thinking, holy shit. My brain kind of just goes all kerfuffled. It's not funny. But I get really overwhelmed really easily when I put too much on my plate. I think I can handle too much and then I burn myself out. So I'm really working hard on not doing that. But last week was insanity. I had 4 interviews last week. So I have all my guests for April covered, which I'm so excited about. I have a few episodes that I think you guys are going to be a bit surprised by. I'm really looking forward to what April has to bring. It's going to be a very exciting and busy month, and I actually can't even believe that we're already coming up to April. It's a little bit overwhelming how quick time is going. I could have sworn I was singing Christmas carols a week ago, but now we're almost in April. If you know how my podcast works, once a month on the What Fills Your Cup YouTube channel, I post a vlog episode. So this week's episode, in the solo episode, wow, how many times can I say the word episode? I get to pick the topic that I want to talk about, which is really fun. Sometimes it might be a story time, sometimes it might just be a check-in, sometimes it might be advice that I want to give. And given how busy last week was, I was trying to think of what I wanted to talk about this week. And given that I'm working on this whole work-life balance thing, I thought, you know what? That kind of circles back down to habits. And habits that I create for myself, and habits that work for me, and some that don't work for me. And so today's episode, we are going to be talking all about the power of habit. Hobbit. It's immediately what I thought when I say the word habit, I immediately think of Hobbit. Don't ask why. Anyways, so yes, we're going to be talking about the power of habit, routine, and what a routine looks like for me, and a little bit on how I've really been able to shift my daily routine the past nearly 4 months, because I would say I really started in January, these practices that I'm going to be sharing with you. And I want to talk a little bit about how they've positively impacted my life and honestly put me in a really healthier mindset. If you are watching this on video, I really hope you like my shirt. I think it's so fun. I feel like summer and being on a boat and live, laugh, loving, but I'm so excited for summer. And in summer, I feel at times I can lose sight of the habits I create when the weather is a little bit more rainy, because I just want to be outside, I just want to be with my friends, I just want to dance and twirl and be on a patio. And I'm not saying that that's wrong or bad, but I can let that lifestyle get a little bit of the best of me, and I lose sight of, okay, making sure I'm staying in my routine, making sure I'm still taking the best care of myself that I possibly can. And so I wanted to share some of these tools that I've been using or implement in my life, because maybe they'll help you. Maybe they'll help you get on track. Maybe you're looking for some inspiration. I don't know if I'd necessarily call myself the most inspirational person, but I would love to help one person if that's what I get out of this episode. As you probably know, if you listen to my episodes, I have ADHD. And when I was in school, specifically when I was undiagnosed, I had to learn tools on how I could keep myself on track, not procrastinate. I'm not going to take you through my step-by-step, I do this every single day, I do this every single morning that I wake up, because that's not true and that's not realistic. Some days I have really good habit days, and other days I have really poor habit days where I don't feel like I got anything done, and that's okay. Reset, recharge, not gonna beat myself up about it. One of the biggest tools I learned through school and that I still use on a daily basis is writing a to-do list. Now, I say to-do list, and you might be sitting there rolling your eyes like, womp frickin' womp. A to-do list? Yeah, no, honestly, it actually changes my life. I will write the most crazy things on my to-do lists. Not crazy, I should say, but I write things that I'm like, why can't I just make this a habit? Why do I have to write this down? Why do I have to remind myself? But with how my brain works, sometimes I do need those visual reminders. And I don't put it on my phone. I do pen and paper. I sit down in the morning and I will write a to-do list. And I'm telling you, one of the best parts about doing this, in my opinion, is getting that little satisfaction of checking or crossing something off my to-do list. For example, I will write make my bed, make breakfast, prep an interview, editing day, get this done, this done, this done. I work at this time. Like, I will write down my daily routine and the things I need to get done throughout that day. And it also gives me that satisfaction, or maybe a little bit of dopamine, serotonin, of crossing something off. Okay, I accomplished this today. And then when I am done my day, I can look back and say, oh wow, that was a really productive day. I did all of these things. And honestly, some of the times I forget what I've done throughout my day just because my brain is go, 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 that it is nice having that in front of me that I can sit back, look, and say, wow, I actually had a really productive day. Through the power of habit, I have now started all my mornings with writing a to-do list. And through my to-do list, I've been able to also create a habit of, okay, first thing I do right when I wake up is make my bed. Then I brush my teeth, I make breakfast, and then I can write my to-do list. What do I need to do? And it was those little reminders for a few months, honestly, of making my bed, getting ready for the day, making my breakfast, that now it has become a habit of mine. I think with to-do lists, it doesn't even have to be I have to do this. It could be goals that you want to accomplish throughout the day. Setting goals and setting daily reminders for yourself can also help you feel motivated. It can help you feel that sense of accomplishment. And it can also keep you on track of not procrastinating something or getting distracted. Me, ADHD, I get distracted and I procrastinate a lot. So having these goals and daily reminders is something that I would really advise everyone to try, maybe for a week, maybe for a couple weeks, maybe for a month. A month, I would say you would probably feel very accomplished, so I would recommend that to be the starting point. 30 days, setting goals every day, you got this, and I have just found that I have created so many positive habits by setting those daily goals. Now, another thing that I have struggled with in the past, and something that I have made a habit of recently, is exercise. I signed up for this thing called ClassPass, and what it is it's a bunch of gyms around Vancouver area, and you can essentially sign up for a class. It has the times, the schedules, you can see who the instructor is, it gives you kind of a little description of what the class entails. And I found that that was really helpful for me going back into trying to take care of my fitness better, just by having someone take me through a class. I found it was really hard for me to just go to the gym and have that motivation, but if I have someone waiting for me, I say in quotations, the instructor, then I feel more obligated to go. I don't want to let them down. I also don't want to pay the $19 miss fee. So I found that attending those classes and signing up for something where I am being held accountable to show up really also put me into that habit of wanting to sign up for more classes, wanting to go a little bit more, also finding what works best for me, which is the Pilates classes. I just love them. Might not be what is best suited for you, but if you are someone starting your fitness journey, ClassPass and going somewhere that has an instructor is so totally something that I would recommend. By attending those classes and again, having that scheduled and having it visually be in front of me of, okay, this is the time, this is the place, this is when I have to go and show up, that really helped me make exercise and fitness a good part of my routine. And just creating that habit of, okay, I'm going to start my mornings off with a workout. Clears my mind. It makes me feel more energized throughout the day. I feel like I accomplished something because I got a good sweat in. I also think that it's a time where you can just be by yourself and release any emotions or feelings through fitness that you need to release. And it's also very individual. Fitness is a huge part of helping your mental health. And I feel as though through the conversations I have with most of my guests, or at least some of my guests, a lot of their backgrounds are fitness related, and talking to them and hearing their opinions on how fitness has assisted their daily routine, mental health, stability, it's incredible. I forgot how much I loved working out. I used to work out so much in my early 20s, and then I kind of stopped for health reasons that I'm not going to get into, but now that I'm in a space where I can start moving my body the way I want to, I have been really focused on creating that habit. And through ClassPass and finding workouts that I love, I have been able to create that habit. Now, my next point could go one of two ways, okay? I am someone that I get really stressed out when there's too much clutter or my space isn't tidy, my environment isn't clean. Everything in my house has a specific spot. And if any of that's moved or any of that's not the way I want it, it throws me off of my routine because I can't get anything done until my house is the way that I would like it. And yes, is that sometimes really draining? Absolutely. Sometimes I wish I could just throw my stuff everywhere and not give a crap about where things are, but that's not realistic because that's not me. Decluttering your space and keeping your environment tidy, or at least clean, allows you to remain focused on the task that you need to complete. Because if you look around, you're going to start getting stressed of, okay, I need to do the dishes, I need to vacuum, I need to Swiffer, I need to sweep, I need to make my bed, I need to do the laundry. The list can build up at home. I always try to make sure that my space and where I spend most of my time, which is home, I love my home, is a space that I can feel relaxed and calm, and I'm not overwhelming myself when I walk into my safe space, which is my home, which is probably your home. Home should be a safe space, and you want to take care of that environment, and you want to make sure that it is somewhere that you feel calm and relaxed, especially if you work a 9-to-5 job, or especially if you are out all day, all hours of the day, and then you come back. You want to be able to just relax. You want to be able to walk in and have that breath of fresh air. Now, through the power of habit and also just how I am in terms of making sure that my space is very tidy, I do implement a routine of every night before bed. Like I said, I make sure the laundry's done, dishes are done, living room is tidy, XYZ. And that way when I wake up, I'm not waking up in clutter or mess or starting my day off feeling overwhelmed. I think by creating a habit of making sure that your environment is as clutter-free as possible, I find that that can also help mental health. Truly, I believe that. And it's really interesting. Before my boyfriend moved in, and when he moved in, through my habits of making sure the house was always tidy, the first few months we lived together, he would always bring up saying, like, I love coming home to a clean space. It's so refreshing being able to come home and everything's put away, everything's tidy. Like, it's so relaxing. I needed this. And now it's interesting, months down the line that we've been living together, he's now picked up those habits of, okay, take out the garbage, make sure we do our dishes, make sure the living room is tidy. And that was through me, his partner, him just seeing how I would leave our space. He's now picked up those little habits. And it makes him feel calm. It makes him feel relaxed when he comes back home from a long day of work. And so it is really interesting that if you are living with a partner, for example, your habits can rub off on that other person. I really did want to touch on just like decluttering, tidy, and how your habits can also rub off on those around you. Not just a partner or not just with a roommate, but as well as your friends, family, your dog, I don't know, cat, meow. But you know what I mean? Decluttering is very something that I am like, we need to declutter. Mess is stress. Mess is stress. That's a good line. You know, I didn't think of that before, but it just came to my brain. And now that I'm saying it, I'm like, hell yeah, mess is stress. Now, through habits and as I just touched on, other people around you, connection I think is also very important. Connecting with individuals that also have the same habits or routines or mindset that you do is also very important. I am a firm believer that you are pieces of who you surround yourself with. And if you're surrounding yourself with someone that isn't very motivated or isn't very positive, is really messy, and doesn't really give a shit, then I'm pretty sure, hate to break it to you, but I think their habits might start wearing off on you. Connection is something that I always say is so important. It's good for your mental health. It's good to give yourself a brain break and just be around people that you love. And by creating a habit of making sure that you are seeing people that you love so much, I'm sure your weeks will be much more positive in comparison to a week where you're not seeing anyone, where you're maybe a little isolated, whether you're feeling down. Sometimes all you need is that hour with your friend, 1, to have something to look forward to, 2, to have a safe space where you can vent about whatever feelings you're feeling at that period of time, or 3, just to get out of the house, or whether they come over. That way you can have that connection and reminder that there's so much love around you and there's so many people that want to spend time with you. So we should soak that up and cherish it and not forget that there is so many individuals that want us here, and we need to prioritize those relationships. Now, one of the final things that I wanted to talk about in the power of habits is affirmations, positive affirmations to the self, to you speaking to you. I read a book called Atomic Habits, actually, about last year. And this was one thing that really resonated with me, was the way that you talk to yourself. Because if you're constantly talking down to yourself, or I didn't get this done today, I hate the way my hair looks, I hate my outfit, I hate the way my makeup turned out, comparing myself to other people around me or online, you're going to start to believe those things. Whereas if you shift your mindset and create a habit of saying maybe 3 things that are nice about yourself in the mirror every day, or writing down 3 things that you like about yourself, or 3 things you're proud of yourself for on a daily basis, that will become a habit and you will start to believe those. Shifting that inner dialogue to a more positive and uplifting state is so very important, and I don't think it's talked about enough. I think people, if you do say something nice about yourself, people will start to think you're cocky or self-absorbed, self-centered, selfish, when in reality, you can be confident, not cocky, not self-absorbed, not selfish, and you can say those things out of, I just love myself. I want to remind myself that I love myself because I know the feeling of when I haven't or when I don't. And that's a really hard time to navigate when I am constantly talking down on myself and I'm believing those words. I should start believing the opposite of, I do love and care for myself. I am proud of myself today. I am proud that I got out of bed today. I am proud that I took a rest day. It doesn't have to be, I am proud that I went and did the grouse grind. Like, it doesn't have to be that. And I'm telling you right now, I've never done the grouse grind. I've lived in Vancouver for 25 years and I have a 0 intention of doing that. That shit's hard. You're literally climbing up a mountain. And honestly, if that's something that you want to do, then you do you, but I have no interest, okay? But what I'm saying is, I'm not going to sit here and say I can't climb up the grouse grind. I am not fit enough to do that. No, I actually just don't want to, and that's okay. I'd rather go to my mat Pilates class in my all pink, cute little Pilates princess outfit and get a good sweat that way. I don't need to hike up a freaking mountain. But what I'm saying is, talking to yourself nicely. Like, I'm like, with the whole grouse grind example, I'm not sitting here saying, like, Riley, you can't do that. I'm sitting here saying I don't really want to, and there's other things that I can do that I would much rather do. That's a way more positive way of having that mindset, instead of, you can't do this, you are a failure, you will never be able to do it. Like, why would I say that to myself? That's just mean. And I'm sure other people would sit back and be like, why are you saying that to yourself? That's just mean. You need to talk nicer to yourself. And I think talking nicely to yourself is so important on a daily basis. And creating that habit of shifting that inner dialogue to be more positive and give yourself that motivation and sense of accomplishment, feeling of accomplishment, is so important. We all deserve that. We all deserve to talk to ourselves nicely, and some days are a lot harder than others. Believe me, I know, but it all comes down to creating that habit of, let's be more kind to ourselves because I deserve it. Circling back to kind of all the points that we touched on, we talked about setting daily goals. We talked about exercise, affirmations, and connection. All those habits and starting those habits. I would argue you would have a much better week if you implemented some of those into your daily routine. Doesn't have to be all 4 of those at one time. It can be 1 a day, or practicing 1 a day. You don't want to start all these habits and then look back and think, oh my gosh, I'm too overwhelmed. This is too much for me. What have I done? And then just throw all the rest out the window. Start small. Start with what you know you are capable of. And slowly over time, you can add more into your daily or weekly routine. And I hope that some of what I have talked about today will remind you or give you some insight, or maybe it's a tool that you needed, or maybe it was just a reminder that you're right. Maybe I should try to start that because it worked for me. On that note, I hope you guys liked this episode. I am so excited for Sunday's episode, which is a vlog episode. I think I already mentioned that. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of the What Fills Your Cup podcast. I'll see you on Sunday for a very fun episode. I'll see you next Wednesday for another solo episode, and then we are right into April's guests, which I am so excited for you guys to meet. My first guest of April. You are all gonna be like, what? This is new. And I'm really, really excited for it because it was a really amazing conversation, to say the least. So get ready. Okay. Do not forget to comment what videos or topics you would like to see next from me. Do not forget to hit that like button. It helps me so much on this channel. And lastly, do not forget to hit that subscribe button. We are almost at 1,000 subscribers, which is insane. I am so excited. So if you want to see more of me, do not forget to subscribe or follow, and it helps me so much. So I wanted to say the biggest thank you to everyone that has liked, commented, subscribed, followed. It really does help me make my dream a reality, and I just appreciate it so very much. Before I sign off, if you haven't heard it today, I love you, and do not forget to tell someone you love them, because you never know who needs it a little extra. Bye, you guys. I will see you on Sunday.